Hi, I'm Lily. I think
hey Lily, yes, we haven't.
So
you sent me something today, but sorry, I didn't.
I know you're very busy, so I
sorry,
just came
as you can imagine, yes.
Is it okay in English?
Yes, yeah, of course.
So
English, German or French?
Oh, I think English for our readers.
All right.
So I think for international readers, it's very fascinating to have, a conservative Christian, running to basically lead the opposition, which they've long associated with the left wing. So what is your message to left-wing voters and undecided voters? Why should they vote for you at this point?
First of all, because I have the highest chance of defeating Orban. Because really, all the campaign that Fidesz has been conducting against the opposition for the last 12 years, it's useless against me. Of course, I've been a conservative for a longer time than Fidesz. Fidesz, you remember, used to be in the communist youth movement, the leaders of Fidesz. Then Orban used to be the vice president of the Liberal International. So, it's pretty useless, the usual stuff. And I have already proven that myself in a Fidesz stronghold, Hódmezővásárhely, I could defeat Fidesz twice. I could turn over a 2/3 Fidesz rule into a 2/3 opposition rule. And I also proved something as a mayor, about my capabilities as a leader. So I believe next April's election, the opposition has the highest chance of defeating Orban with my participation and leadership. So that's why I actually propose. And also, it's not only about defeating Orban. It's also about credibility, about anti-corruption stand. And let's face it, the opposition has some very dubious track records in its past. So not everybody, including myself, of course, is convinced that rival leaders will really change the culture of politics in Hungary.
Yeah. And what would you say to voters who are a bit concerned that maybe you're too conservative for them? So, is your stance on the issues that have really divided Hungary over the past years, like migration or LGBT rights, how do you stand on those issues compared to Fidesz?
But, I would say not 180% opposite, but for example on LGBT rights, Fidesz used to vote for equal rights for same-sex marriage, same-sex couples. In 2000, no, sorry, it was in 1995 or 7. I would have to look it up. And of course now they are conducting a hate campaign against homosexuals. I have defended homosexuals, and I strongly believe, as a Catholic, that one thing is my church's stand, which I absolutely share, and one thing is another thing is the secular state, and the secular state cannot make a difference between people and people. So same rights for same-sex couples.
So you believe in equal rights?
Equal rights for same-sex marriage or any other things. So I believe a secular state cannot make a difference legally between people based on their sexuality.
And in terms of migration, how does your stance differ from the government?
Yeah, first of all, what the government did is they are again conducting a hate campaign. And it has merely political reasons. You also have to consider that while Fidesz was conducting a hate campaign, they have actually not only allowed migration into Hungary, but actually profited from an organized high-scale migration. They issued a citizenship visa, if you want, a residence permit for 20,000 people, including some known criminals and Islamist terrorists. So Fidesz really didn't care about who comes as long as they pay. From this program, the friends of Mr. Rogán, who is a Fidesz well-known figure, and who was responsible for this program in the Hungarian parliament, they profited 150 billion HUF, while the state has actually lost money on it because they are paying interest, of course, and they have to repay these bonds. So the state has actually lost 17 billion HUF. So just imagine that. So how honest is the stand of Fidesz on migration? Or look at Gruevski. Gruevski is also a migrant under international search warrant, and Orban has actually given asylum to Mr. Gruevski just because both of them are friends of Mr. Putin, or actually close collaborators for Mr. Putin.
But would you be in favor of changing Hungary's stance on asylum seekers?
absolutely, but Fidesz is actually, even from Afghanistan, they are actually accepting. So it's again, one thing is their hate campaign and the other thing is their practice. I don't think they are doing enough for those migrants who were let in by Fidesz to feel actually welcome, to feel, you know, human, let's say. So I think what they are doing again is it's always about hate, but not always against European rule. It wasn't really a full stop a minute ago. If you also again look, because Orbán Viktor declared less than 20 years ago that Hungary needs 1 million migrants. 1 million migrants. And he is actually doing that. He's following that program. Just in 2019, Orbán accepted 55,000 migrants from out of the EU and gave them residence permits, because of course Hungarian companies, including of course foreign companies, so multinationals, they need workers, and since many Hungarians are fleeing Orbán's regime, there is not enough workforce in Hungary. So Orbán is actually organizing the influx of migrant workforce into Hungary. And I fully understand this policy. I just point out the strong difference between their practice and their communication.
Just as a final quick thing, how would you change Hungary's policy and relationship with the EU?
No, that's the biggest issue, I think, because apparently Orbán is leading Hungary out of the EU, while we want to be a very loyal, very devout members of EU and NATO. I strongly believe in aligning Hungary to the West, to the Western Christian culture. You know, this is our home for over 1,000 years. Hungary's a very strong dedication to Western European values, to Christianity from 1,000 years ago. It is really betrayed by Orbán in the last few years. I've been a supporter of Orbán until 2009, November 25th. That's the date when Orbán actually met Putin. I noticed that before that, Orbán was, you know, supported by me because he was a pro-EU, anti-Putin, strongly, harshly anti-Putin conservative. Now, Orbán is building a dictatorship which is against the EU and pro-Putin. So, of course, I couldn't take that U-turn with him, and I'm strongly against Orbán's foreign policy. And this is one of the biggest issues what we have to change, and I have to remind everyone that the EU has the highest support rate amongst basically all European countries, with 80% in favor of supporting the EU.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
It was nice talking to you.
Have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It was nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll be in touch, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay, well, thanks. Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Well,
it's all right.
Well done.
Szia! Hello.
Az úr még szeretne majd megint, hogy itt voltál.
Köszönöm, hogy itt voltam.
Most, hogy ilyen rövid legyek.
Így van, hallod, legyünk sokan, de ezt te úgy is tudod. Köszönöm szépen, nagyon köszönöm.
Egyre többen vagyunk egyébként.
Köszönöm szépen. Így van, nagyon jó, és nagyon kedvesek vagytok.